Hello.
Hi,
How are you, Rebecca?
I'm doing really well today.
Yeah. Can you tell Rebecca where are you coming from?
I'm from Utah. It's in the US. It's kind of close to Las Vegas.
Yeah. And what brings you to India and Zoom?
Well, I came to India. Originally, I came because I have a coworker. I was working in customer support, and he worked right next to me. He was really good at what he did, and he always knew what was going on with the computers, what was going on with the network, and we became really good friends. And he talked about how he'd gotten his training from Zoom in India. He mentioned that he had gotten not just his CCNA, but his Linux training as well as Microsoft training. It really interested me, and so he encouraged me to come myself, and it was an amazing deal.
So when you came here, were you satisfied? Did you like the center academy?
I was actually quite surprised because I knew I was coming to India, and I didn't know what to expect, but when I first walked in the door, I was greeted very warmly by the staff. I even got to meet the president of the company, and we arranged for the classes, what I was going to take. When I actually did take the classes, the faculty were not only friendly, but they were very knowledgeable. Any questions that we had, they answered, and they almost always, every single lecture, they would talk about their own personal experiences. They'd say, this is important because when I was working on this router for such and such company, and they had lots of hands-on experience, and they were all very well certified. So it was an amazing experience.
I see. How long were you here in India?
I was here for 2.5 months, so I took the Microsoft Linux
CCNA, CCNP?
course.
And did you also do CCIE?
I didn't do CCIE, but my friend had done CCIE.
Yeah.
Not the one that I was co-workers with,
Yeah.
but he had another friend who had taken it here at Zoom. And as soon as he got home from the classes in Zoom, he ended up becoming a network senior or junior administrator over an entire university, and now he's a senior administrator. So he highly recommended the CCIE course.
Well, I heard there is good, demand for CCIEs in the US. Is that correct?
It's true. It's one of the highest paid professions. In fact, there are fewer people who have their CCIE certification than there are doctors.
Yep.
So it's in more demand than a doctor.
Yeah. Did you meet many CCIEs instructors in Zoom here? And did you like the infrastructure? How do you feel about the infrastructure?
The infrastructure was amazing.
Yep.
I loved every single class had its own lab, and I was able to have hands-on practice for more than an hour a day.
Is this the lab that you studied here? Can I zoom in here? Is this the lab?
This isn't the exact same lab, but this is almost identical. It had routers, it had switches, and there were computers for us to practice on.
Oh, I see. Okay. And what about the instructors?
The instructors were all amazing. I personally didn't take CCIE, so I didn't meet with anyone, a CCIE instructor, but I took ethical hacking. I was really impressed with the ethical hacking teacher. He
Right.
could hack anything.
Really?
I think, I don't know.
Isn't it dangerous?
I didn't test.
Okay. Okay.
But, and then the CCNA and the Microsoft were absolutely amazing, as well as Linux. With our Linux instructor, he brought up he had 2 different Linux machines that he showed us on, so he showed us how to do the server, as well as the client side. He didn't just tell us to look in the book, but he actually showed us on the screen all of the commands and how it worked. So it was really impressive.
So what you're saying essentially is the faculty were all experienced guys.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
were all
correct? Yep.
experienced. I was impressed because they didn't just have the book knowledge, but they had experiences in the field with what they were talking about. And when I asked them if they themselves had the certifications, they had all been certified for everything that they taught.
I see. Did you find many other foreign students when you were studying? Or you were there were other nationalities?
There were lots of other foreign students.
Because we heard a lot that a lot of people from Europe and US also visit Zoom. Is that correct?
From my experience, yes. I met lots of people from Europe and Africa.
And when are you going back?
We're going back next week.
Okay. All the best. So would you really recommend this to somebody else?
I would. I've actually even had a couple of people ask me already about my experience. The biggest problem with my friends, at least, is they don't have the time to come to India. But the wonderful thing about Zoom is they also have online classes, and so I've recommended the online classes to them, and hopefully they'll have a wonderful experience.
Okay. Thank you, Rebecca. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.